This is Secular Founding Period History, and my name is Tony Messina. Welcome to another presentation of America's Lost History and Christianity Stole Upon Us. Christianity Stole Upon Us. Jefferson covers a variety of topics here, including English judges and their judicial usurpations regarding Christianity and the common law. Letter from Thomas Jefferson Monticello to Major John Cartwright, June 5, 1824. This letter contains a copy of a study Jefferson completed while in law school as he was looking over information that every other student of law looked over, only to find something extraordinarily strange. Several English judges, over time, basically stole Christianity upon us through repeated decisions that were not legal. This act repeatedly over many years was judicial usurpation on steroids. One judge after another improperly cited each other over many years of decisions, each approving of Holy Scriptures being included in common law. You will see that reading this letter is actually comically entertaining and quite revealing on just how loose they were back then with some things, like sneaking Scripture into law books illegally. Jefferson's analysis is so clear it's amazing how he picks apart all of these errors. This work exposes the bookending of two historical judicial usurpations in Western history that everyone should be aware of. The one was as described above, while bookending with the other was all the SCOTUS decisions that separated the church from the state in the 1900s. These two interesting moments in the history of Western civilization, the dual judicial usurpations of these two courts, centuries apart, on the issue of church and state, is amazing. Where were the legislatures on these two issues in each of their own times? Will always be the question. From Thomas Jefferson, Monticello, June 5, 1824, to Major John Cartwright. I was glad to find in your book a formal contradiction at length of the judiciary usurpation of legislative, for such the judges have usurped in their repeated decisions that Christianity is a part of the common law. The proof of the contrary which you have adduced is incontrovertible, to wit that the common law existed while the Anglo-Saxons were yet pagans, neither Christian, Jew, or Muslim, at a time when they had never yet heard the name of Christ pronounced or knew that such a character had ever existed. But it may amuse you to show when and by what means they stole this law upon us. In a case of quare impedit in the yearbook, a question was made how far the ecclesiastical law was to be respected in a common law court. Judge Finch, in his first book, is the first afterwards who quotes this case, and mistakes it thus: to such laws of the church as have warrant in Holy Scriptures our law giveth credence, and cites Judge Prissett, mistranslating ancient Scripture into Holy Scripture, whereas Judge Prissett palpably says to such laws as those of Holy Church have in ancient writing, it is proper for us to give credence, to wit, to their ancient written laws. This was in 1613, a century and a half after the dictum of Judge Prissett. Wingate, in 1658, erects this false translation into a maxim of the common law, copying the words of Finch, but citing Prissett, Wingate, Max, and Shepherd. In 1675, copies the same mistranslation, quoting Finch and Wingate. Hell expresses it in these words: Christianity is parcel of the laws of England, but he quotes no authority by these echoings and re-echoings from one to another, it had become so established in 1728 that in the case of King versus Williston, the court would not suffer it to be debated whether to write against Christianity was punishable in the temporal court at common law. Wood, therefore, ventures still to vary the phrase and say that all blasphemy and profaneness are offenses by the common law. Then Blackstone in 1763 repeats the words of Hale that Christianity is a part of the laws of England, citing Ventris and Strange. And finally, Lord Mansfield, with a little qualification in Evans's case in 1767, says that the essential principles of revealed religion are part of the common law, thus engulfing Bible, Testament, all into the common law, without citing any authority. And thus we find this chain of authorities hanging link by link, one upon another, and all ultimately on one and the same hook, and that a mistranslation of the words ancient scripture used by Prissett, Finch quotes Prissett, Wingate does the same. Shepherd quotes Prissett, Finch and Wingate. Hale cites nobody. The courts in Woolston's case cite Hale. Wood cites Woolston's case. Blackstone quotes Woolston's case and Hale, and Lord Mansfield, like Hale, ventures it on his own authority. Here I might defy the best read lawyer to produce another script of authority for this judiciary forgery, and I may go on further to show how some of the Anglo-Saxon priests interpolated into the text of Alfred's laws the 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd chapters of Exodus, and the 15th of the Acts of the Apostles, from the 23rd to the 29th verses. But this would lead my pen and your patience too far. What a conspiracy this between church and state. Sing tantara-ra, rogues all, rogues all. Sing tantara-ra, rogues all.
Yes, no,